welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee. And today's show is sponsored by DSFG, Don't Suffer Fools Gladly. And if you look at the link in the description, you can get your 20% offer on the nice hoodies that Tim is wearing there. Get it on screen. Oh, lovely.
Boy. That's not, isn't it?
It is. Well, I'm still waiting for mine. I've still got to order it though.
might be some Christmas presents in there.
Oh. You've got to remember my address, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've still got yours.
I'll scroll for about 7 years to find it.
You'd have taken off then and forgot about me.
Oh, no chance. 7 light year scrolling there just to try and find the address we talked about, like, I don't know, 2 months ago.
Yeah. How's your week been, alright?
Yeah. Heavy. Busy.
Heavy rain or heavy?
Wet. Damp. Cold. Everything you can think of is thrown at me this week.
I've just found it a struggle to get out of bed, and we haven't got no heating in our room, so I mean, it's great when you're in bed, but trying to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock or 4:30, wherever it is, I try and get up at it ain't nice.
It's grim. You get up early as well.
Yeah, I mean, you probably tell on some of these videos sometimes we do this at late at night, so I'm like half asleep at the end of it, honest.
You do well, mate.
To keep me going.
I keep him going to the brim, keeping him with little lack of sleep.
I'm not a morning person, I'm not a night person, I don't know why.
Oh, like I've got jaundice today.
Is that lighting, mate? I look pink, so at least I don't look ghostly today. So
that's slightly better.
That's better, yeah. That's better.
So we've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week, Lee.
Yeah, sort of a rotation of, obviously we usually have the Monday games, and it caught me by surprise a bit. I was looking for the other game to preview earlier, and I obviously found it on the Friday. Obviously we're going to our first game in a minute, which is Brentford and Watford. But yeah, I mean, we have said before, we do like these type of games where there could be loads of goals in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, with this one, I'll probably get the feeling that it's going to be a bit edgy, a bit nervy. Yeah, I think Brentford will have a bit of confidence after they beat Everton in the last home game.
Yeah.
But Watford, you just don't know what you're going to get with them, do you? I mean, it seems like there seems to be a lot of goals in their games.
Yeah, at the minute they do. Yeah, absolutely. Ranieri's got them scoring.
Yeah, as it's like we mentioned in a couple of episodes ago, it seems like when they won the league with Leicester, it's sort of like 1-0s, 2-1s, just grinding it out, weren't they? Now these are like free-flowing goals every game, aren't they? So,
but it's going to still shipping way too many.
Yeah, a bit all over the place, isn't it, with them? But will he get the time to make his mark on it? I doubt it. I think
probably not.
No, he's probably on the brink of it now, isn't he? Because he's actually took him further down the table. So
yeah, I suppose so. Well, they were never going to keep that up, though.
No, there wasn't. I mean, you look at. I mean, like when they got relegated a couple of years ago, I was quite surprised. I thought they had a steady squad. The season before they got to the FA Cup final, I witnessed that for myself, thinking that's a good mid-table squad. That is, one that could improve, like push on with it. But they've just seemed to have. Obviously, that season that went down really surprised me, really, and they were okay on their way back up. I mean, didn't set the world alight, but they was getting the victories, weren't they? And they was quite solid defensively. But that's been found out again in the Premier League since they've returned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe Cisco would have just had a bit more time to get used to where the Premier League is. He might have sorted that defence out.
I think he probably would have done, but unfortunately, the way Watford are, they just don't give any time whatsoever to these managers. So I don't think it'll be long before he's gone, to be honest.
It must be frustrating for the fans. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you might get excited to see you bringing him, but at the same time, if you're Watford and within 6 weeks you're expecting your manager to go, then there's nothing to get excited about because there's no fluidity made in the tactics. It's all thrown to pieces. If I sat around the area again, I mean, like, I'd pretty much say that will go down. But you can confirm it then, because unless I get a top class manager in.
How many years contract did he get?
I'm sure he got a year rolling. I'm sure he did. I think every manager at Watford gets a year rolling.
And then gets
sacked. And then they see how they do after. Yeah, I don't think they offer no more than the very most 3. I think the last one to probably get that was Javi Gracia for actually getting them to a cup final. Then he was sacked within 6 weeks of the next season.
Yeah. Crazy. Never saw it coming either.
Yeah. Well, he was their best manager. He's the best manager they've had in recent times.
Mm-hmm.
No, not just for the FA Cup. He got them.
Just say they played some good football.
They did. I mean, like I've seen it firsthand when they come back in the FA Cup semi-final against Wolves a few years ago. Some really good players like Delafeu. Deeney was on top of his game at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now they've got Ismail Assar, who, whatever happens to Watford, I can't see him being there next season.
He won't be there next year.
No. I mean, it could be destined for a Champions League squad, at the very least, a Europa League squad. So,
Who's the other coloured lad they got up top?
Emmanuel Dennis.
That's right.
He's looking the part in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely.
There'll be a lot of clubs looking at him as well. I'd imagine probably Premier League team would be looking at him, but at the same time might attract some European clubs as well. Now, there might be a few that look into the Premier League and see the struggling teams that are for their star players and take them away. But obviously the money's all over here, isn't it? So it's everyone's dream when they come over here to say it was the Premier League when they was a kid. So
yeah, I suppose.
I'd imagine they probably want to stay in there. They probably want to aim higher. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the way Watford's run. I've got nothing against the club itself. Pardon. I've got nothing against the club itself, but it's just not run the right way by the owners. There's nothing to warm to with it, is there?
No, and there's no. As a fan, it must be so frustrating because it's all about trying to get behind a manager, and it's like United fans. I can speak from obviously being a United fan. Is Sir Alex Ferguson finishes his massive reign, years and years. In comes Moyes. You're like, Moyes? And then you back your manager. And to be honest, when you look back, he probably had a bit of a rough deal, David Moyes at United. But at the time, it wasn't acceptable to be down there where we were. So I don't know. I just think
it was an unknown quantity to, a top 4 team, wasn't it? So at Man U's time, the team that had dominated the Premier League for so many years, but under one man. There's a lot to ask, wasn't it? But maybe they did it with Solskjaer after he had his great start, and then it sort of petered out a little bit. Should they have done the same with Moyes? But obviously they can't turn back time now, and they just have to get on with it, don't they? And I'm sure they've got some more supporters. Alex might have come in and been a bit more of a support to Moyes because he was the one who handpicked him, wasn't he? So
yeah, that's what I mean. I thought he would have done, but I think they all kind of agreed that he weren't acceptable, really.
Yeah.
And followed more years of misery.
What do you think of Brentford? Picked up a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. I think Brentford have. They're gonna be like that this year. They're like the Leeds of last year.
Yeah, who they played last week, wasn't it? I think Ivan Toney was COVID positive, wasn't he, last week? So he missed that game as well. So good result without him. Not too sure whether he's eligible for this one because I don't know when he went down with it, but it's with or without him, they've proved they can get a result and they're at home as well, so the fans will be behind them.
Oh yeah.
For this one, I've gone for a 1-1 draw anyway. What have you gone for?
1-1 draw.
We're off again, aren't we? We haven't. I think there's a few we might say the same one. You never know.
I reckon we probably will this week. I think I don't know, maybe we'll see. But anyway, so that's a Friday, the 10th of December, 8:00 kickoff at Brentford Community Stadium, and on to Saturday, the 11th of December.
Do you want me to?
Your in-game tip? Sorry, Lee, I'm getting carried away with myself. Sorry, guys. So, what's your in-game tip then for this for the Brentford and Watford game, then, Lee?
I've got a player on each side. Obviously, just pick the one or the two if you really want to go for big odds. There's a player on each side to get booked. So
I'm going to guess you're going to say Pontus Jansson.
No.
Oh.
I'm for a different one. I've sort of looked up on this, and there's a few players on 4 bookings, and with a cluster of games coming up, I wonder if some will think, can I get not a rest, but like get a clean slate?
Yeah, a rest. Christmas break.
some of them do though, don't they? Some of them have like they have that theory that players do try to get that Christmas break, don't they?
Just need another yellow card.
I think the 2 guys I've picked actually wouldn't want to miss games, but maybe want to get back to 0. But when you get your 5 yellow cards, it'll class you back at 0, and it's another 5 bookings to your next suspension. So I think the ones just served the suspension. So Kuchkista gets booked for Watford. Likes to get stuck in, and had a fair few bookings throughout his career. But the one I looked at Brentford was Norgard, who's on 4 bookings.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
If he's coming up against Kuchka in the middle, could be quite a feisty battle. Hopefully, they both turn around and punch each other, and then we'll get 2 bookings. So yeah, I've gone for them 2 to get booked.
Right, brilliant. Right, so as I said before, Saturday the 11th of December, we're going to go with the 12:30 kickoff first, which is Man City versus Wolves. Your team.
I've had not just since Man City have been billionaire team. It's throughout history. It's probably the one team who've got a fantastic record against.
Yeah, you've always done quite well against Wolves, haven't you?
Against City, yeah.
Against City. Sorry. Do you know what? I've been doing this all day today.
Saying the opposite.
I was knackered first thing, and then I just kind of made my way to my work, and I was like, I didn't even realise I got there. I was just in one of those daydreams, just floated kind of through the first part of the day. And then,
definitely have days like that.
Oh,
definitely.
Sorry, mate. So, yeah, against City, anyway.
Yeah, well, I said growing up, always, when City had their little bit of decline when they went down to the Championship, but Division 1 as it was back in the day, used to beat them quite regular. Always put, even if we didn't beat them, even in recent years, if we haven't beaten them, we've usually put a decent performance up against them. I'd say that apart from the last one, which was in lockdown. So we'll see how it goes with the fans again. They absolutely, I mean, when they beat us 4-1 last season, they looked outstanding. I think they beat us 3 or 4 at Molineux as well. I think it's 3-1 at Molineux.
They look defensively good though, Wolves at the minute. And
yeah, it's a shame what happened against Liverpool. If any team was going to win that, it would have been Liverpool in terms of the way the game was going. We had Aït-Nouri, who was
absolutely 10 out of 10. Sensational.
10 out of 10 last week, and even if he was exhausted or injured, whatever, I'd have probably left him on for that last few minutes because I wouldn't say he had Salah in his pocket, but he kept him quiet.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah. I watched that, and tell you what, he had a sensational game. I text you, I knew it. This kid's brilliant.
Yeah, well, there's rumours of PSG looking at him now, so obviously they've seen him firsthand as well. He has played against them, so and also Newcastle looking, but whether he'd want that at this moment in time.
Oh yeah, Newcastle.
But yeah, we brought Keanu Hoover on at left back, and I was, even though there was only 5 minutes ago, I was thinking, you're playing a right back at left back against Salah, who's on top of his game, who's now that pressure's on him against his former club as well. And as that ball came over to Salah, he just completely misjudged it. And just before he had a little run up the top, but he just didn't make the right decision to keep the ball up there. Salah punished him. The Vigi, again, another one who I said to my dad who was sat next to it at the time, was like, he's going to, he always scores important goals, doesn't he, Vigi? And he's done it again for them. Could prove a massive goal for them throughout the season.
The biggest conundrum in the world, that guy.
He just needs to go to a club where he's going to play regular games. It wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle stay up, or whether they could loan with option to buy to go for someone like him.
Never rated him.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think he's a handful. But probably not at Liverpool's level. But he's sort of made himself into folklore with them, hasn't he? Because of the goals he scored. So.
Scored, yeah, in really, really big games.
Yeah. But yeah, back onto the Wolves. We just need to start scoring some goals.
Mm-hmm.
I fancy us getting a sneaky goal there, but it's not going to end good for us, I don't think. I've gone for 3-1 City.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I just think they'll turn up. I think they'll want to right the wrongs, shall I say. I'm doing it now. I told you, didn't I?
Well, I've gone for a City win as well. I don't think there'll be 3. They'll score 3. I think it'll be 2-0. I don't think you'll score against City.
Yeah, I'm thinking with our defence. I mean, like, it's probably first time we've kicked off at this time this season. I think. I've mentioned it with Leicester at some point, so I can sort of make comparisons with us and Leicester. I've got a feeling we'll be asleep for the start of that game, and they'll put us to bed by the time we've actually woke up. And then we might come back into it a little bit, and then
2-0 half time, 0-0 0-0 second half.
Yeah, that might be a good one to have, actually. Wolves to like maybe win a half or get a chance out of an half.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But I've gone for over 2.5 goals. My tip for that one.
Okay.
City, their own form, they're just just the form in general. I know they lost to Leipzig in the week, but dead rubber to them, isn't it?
Yeah. They're already qualified anyway.
Yeah, they're blitzing past everyone. Those are my pre-season favourites, and now are they top now? I think they're top now.
Oh yeah, they're top now. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Chelsea third now.
because they lost, didn't they, against West Ham? A bit of a freak goal, so
yeah,
I've gone over 2.5 goals on that. It could be a tricky one because, like, if we do turn up as a good defence, it might be 1 or 2-0. But I'm hoping we can get a goal because of our record against them. We scored in our last few visits there as well. Even when we had that poor season under Nuno, we still went there and scored. So, but yeah, this City, I'd say they're definitely going to score over 1. I think so.
Yeah,
I've gone 3-1.
Okay. 2-0. So what was your in-game? What were your in-game tip for that?
Over 2.5 goals.
Oh, 2.5.
Three goals wins you the bet.
3-1. Sorry, mate. Miles away then. And then on to the first 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. We've got Arsenal and Southampton League.
Yeah, Arsenal have gone back to normal, haven't they? If you want to put it that way. So, just an enigma at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
But people have pointed out the wins that they got when they go a bit carried away. But there was against teams that were sacking the managers, teams out of form.
Yeah.
I think Southampton got something out of them the last time they went to Emirates as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're capable of being beaten again, Arsenal are, and I haven't gone for that. I have gone for 1-1 on this one.
I've gone for 1-1 on this one.
There we go, another match.
2 out of 3 league.
Well, there was on the way to a good win against Brighton, wasn't there, Southampton, but conceded late on.
Yeah, I think they play some good football, really. I quite like watching Southampton. They just can't put the ball in there sometimes.
They just seem to have players that will turn up on a certain week. Like, obviously, Shea Adams probably been the main man in terms of showing up, but then Brozier comes on and he
always
makes
scores a goal or 2.
Yeah, he's an handful, isn't he? He's a big lad. So, but they've got some good young players, and I think they're hoping that if they can keep clear of relegation or anything like that, or getting dragged into anything. That they're building these players to be proper first team regulars because it's a young squad. Well, you know, I think there's players that will be replaced. I mean, Redmond, you probably think about 32 now, when I think he's only about 26.
Is he?
Yeah, he's been around forever here. So I've actually got the squad up here. So he's 27. Yeah, it just seems like he's been around forever.
I mean, it does feel like he's been around forever. How old were he when you were at Newcastle, Norwich then?
Well, the first I heard of him, because obviously being a sort of local lad myself, he was coming through at Blues, and I think he was about 17 then. But Norwich, I think he probably had about 2-3 years at Blues and then moved on to Norwich, so probably early 20s, yeah. And I think he's been at Southampton for the last 3 or 4, hasn't he?
6 years.
He's been there a while, hasn't he? I think when they're sort of like being at a club where, you know, they've been a decent player, but they don't set the world light, you always look back at them and think, is he really that old?
It's true. It is true.
I mean, there was comparisons to him and Nuno a few years ago, wasn't there? Saying like there was father and son. There'd be before and after. I mean, Nuno's younger than what he looks. Nuno looks about 60, but he's only about 45.
Yeah, he's not very old, is he?
No. He might even be younger than Bruno, or not far off it. Around a similar age, I think.
How old's Bruno?
Bruno's about 45, 46, something like that. He looks a lot younger, to be fair. Just give him a couple more years in this job, we'll sort that one out.
Yeah, I know, that's it, in this country.
With my tip on that one, I've gone for double chance Saints on that. Very good chance they could take something away from that game. They're that type of team that can go somewhere and spoil the big team's day.
Yeah, definitely.
Not usually always winning, but they've been quite big on the draws as well this season, haven't they?
They've drawn lots of games. I think they've drawn 7 games this season, which is a massive amount, really. He's calmed down. Huh?
I think Arsenal game for a stage. I can't remember if it's been this season or last season. They were drawing a lot of games as well, so could be definitely one to keep an eye on that for a draw.
Definitely on that. Right then, what about Chelsea and Leeds?
Yeah, I don't know who confirmed it is with Leeds, but I heard that Bamford and Phillips have gone down again, haven't they?
No, I'm not sure.
I did see something on Sky Sports News but it was on Twitter, so I just need to get confirmation on that, because obviously if Bamford's gone down again, you know, he's obviously proved that they missed him for a while. He's come back and scored that last minute equaliser, didn't he?
No, it's probably what did him.
He got a bit cold, didn't he, taking that shirt off?
Yeah.
Apparently his old man never told him never to take his shirt off, and he did. So that's what's happened.
Or injured his nipple.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough day for Leeds, to be honest with you, especially if Phillips and Bamford are missing. You know, they're always a team that will give it a fight, but I think they're just, you know, certain games they can just get blown away. I know Chelsea haven't been exactly amazing, have they, recently? But
no, but they'll be out. They'll be out for it this week.
Yeah, because these teams, these top 3 teams, when they do have a setbacks and maybe a little bit of a sketchy run of form, they will find that second wind, I think, and they'll start coming back. I mean, they won't like this fact of being third. No, well, obviously, when you've been third, I mean, like, as long as they keep close, I think that's their main intention, is it? As long as they're not getting cut adrift, to just keep within that race and then pick up the form at the right time. Yeah. The Leeds away form's been poor as well. They've only been away from home the last 5 has come in at Norwich, who were obviously going for that run under Fark at the time. They were still without a win at that point. And they made hard work of that as well. Yeah. I can't see Leeds getting anything out of this game. I think Chelsea come back with a vengeance. I've gone for them to win 3-0.
I've gone for 3-1. Ooh.
I think I might. You know what? I think I might have had Leeds score at some point until I've seen. Like, yeah. I mean, it's not just him, because they have captivated to an extent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For a big period of it, So
Yeah,
not
obviously.
much has changed there, but Rafinha's the one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, even players like Jack Harrison can make good chances for themselves.
Yeah.
When they played Tottenham, and you probably seen Leeds' team on paper that day. I mean, as a neutral, you probably look at it and think they're probably going to get hammered here, but they were fantastic the first half against Spurs.
Definitely. That Gallagher kid's a good one as well.
Yeah, and he might be, if it is true about Bamford, he might be back in for that. So, but yeah, I've gone for that, and my tip for that, so going for 3-0, I've gone for Chelsea to keep a clean sheet in the game, which is close to evens at the moment, so it's not bad odds really for a good defence to keep a clean sheet against potentially depleted attacking line.
Yeah, they've closed a lot of different attackers off this year, so I don't expect Leeds will have that much opportunity, should I say? I think they might get I fancy Rafinha again, maybe.
Yeah,
just make some.
he's definitely someone that, I mean, maybe if you look at it this way, but if Alonso's playing left, well, he probably will because Chilwell's played for a long time,
Exactly,
isn't he?
he'll be playing all the time probably.
He'll
get torn apart by Rafinha.
Yeah. So if he gets in a few times, I think Alonso's going to have to be praying that his left-sided defenders on his game to keep him quiet.
Ask him play right back.
They get done by Harrison then.
I know, yeah.
Just keep him out of the team.
Right then, what about Stevie G's return to Anfield, Liverpool and Aston Villa?
Yeah, no doubt if he says over 2 goals in the game, this will be the first on the match of the day, won't it? So long as it's not a board draw, I think it's guaranteed to be the feature game. He's tried to play there, but we know he's going to love going back there and getting his reception.
Of course he is.
He's not going to get a single boo, is he, surely, unless someone really hates Villa at Liverpool.
They're not going to boo him.
No. So he's gonna want to go there and show, because this is, I'd say, unless it goes absolutely Pete Tong at Villa, will be his next job, whenever that may be, whether Villa could keep it. I mean, to be honest, if I was him at the age of, what is he, about 41, something like that?
Yeah, he's not very old, is he?
I would happily stay at Villa for 4 or 5 years if he was happy with me, and then look at that next step. But as soon as Klopp goes, he's going to be instantly linked to be the main man at that job.
Oh yeah, every time. Maybe I'm up for his sake, really, and obviously not the biggest Liverpool fan in the world, as you know, but obviously looking at things from the outside, and obviously he's a club legend there, and what he's kind of done for that club really is quite remarkable, and also the effect he's got as a manager. I think he's made people kind of like
respect him.
Respect him.
It's like he commands it just through his icy stare, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he's obviously really clued up. Obviously, we know that with his football brain, with how he played the game, especially in the latter years with Liverpool. He was the one who kind of made everything happen. Everything. Saved him so many times, big goals, everything. So it is going to be the main one on match of the day, this. And I've gone for 2-2.
It's an interesting one. I mean, like with Villa in form and all this at stake. And what people have asked me about Liverpool game, saying did they play well? Obviously, seeing them firsthand, which I've done plenty of times before. This is obviously the new breed of Liverpool, I suppose. I think the last time I've seen them, they were sort of getting there as a team, but now they've had about 3 or 4 years with most of those players together. And I wasn't blown away, but you could tell there was a great team.
Yeah.
But they weren't mind-blowing in the way they played, and I think they have to up their tempo big time against Villa. Obviously, their own advantage will be a factor for them in that, but I've gone for them to win 2-1 Liverpool on this one. But it won't be easy for them. I think they will make hard work of it again, but I just get a feeling they might just sneak one towards the end again.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see Villa score first.
So what's your in-game tip for this one then, Lee?
This one is my favourite, both score no draw.
Or score no.
Also, keep an eye on Villa to score the first goal, so you get some good odds on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could go with a lot of teams, to be honest with you. There's teams, I mean, even if you look in the lower leagues, there's always the one that you see as the favourite, and you probably get, say if you, like the other day, so for example, League One, Rotherham have been on fire in that league, going 1-0 down to Gillingham. They come back to win about 4-1 in the end, but going one goal there, Gillingham's odds are about 2 or 3 to 1 to score that first goal. And they'd probably be similar for Villa because they're playing Liverpool at Anfield. So, yeah, keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on that one then, guys. Right then. So on to the 5:30 kickoff, which is Norwich and Man United.
Yeah, I didn't see the game of the week, but it was, again, probably a bit of a dead rubber. How did they play against Young Boys?
How did they play?
Yeah.
All the kids played in the end.
Did they? I'd seen that Wan-Bissaka was playing that, so he was obviously playing a couple of first teamers.
Played Wan-Bissaka, Dean Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, who he changed after an hour.
Happened with Heaton coming on? Was that just to get him on the pitch, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's got it right. He's obviously had little time. He's got little time. He's had like naff all time to even train with half of them, and he needs to look at everyone and obviously look. If he's not going to be scared to change it, let's say it that way. He's going to play who he wants to play, who's going to make the team tick. And he's looking at everyone. He's looked at the kids. He had Charlie Savage on there last night making his debut. Zidane Iqbal making his debut. We had Anthony Elanga playing. Mason.
He looked a good kid last season against us, Elanga. I'm sure he scored against us as well.
Yeah, he did. That bullet header.
Yeah. He's Swedish, isn't he? Or something like
that. Yeah. Well, I don't know whether he is or whether he's one of his parents is.
Ah, okay. So he might have the allegiance towards them for there, yeah.
So, and then who else? They had. They were quite. Ted and Mengi came on for Luke Shaw, left back. So it's looking good. They all held their own as well, which was nice to see. And it's nice to see like someone doing what Fergie had done, and just bung out the kids, European, get them out there, give it massive confidence boost for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you should do really, shouldn't you? If you're not getting the minutes on the pitch, I mean, like for Henderson to get out there, obviously that's a big thing for him. And then the kids to have that experience as well, to say that even if they turns out to be the last game of professional football and then just fall off the scale, they can say they've played the Champions League match.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And quite a really nice moment hearing, well, basically I can't remember who the other commentator was. Who is the Champions League commentator? Is it Tyler?
I don't watch too much BT, so I know you have Derek Ray and you on about with the Champions League game with Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
As his co-commentator.
Yeah.
You have Derek Ray and there's someone else, and I can't think of his name now. Steve someone, I think, isn't it?
Tyler.
No, I don't think it's Tyler. It's a lead singer of Aerosmith, isn't it? That'd be quite interesting to hear. I can't remember. I mean, Martin Tyler probably does do it for another station, but we weren't in with Savage. I can't remember who it was. I don't watch too much BT. I haven't got subscription to that. I've usually got some German going mad, so. Or some Dutch station.
Well, he was.
Do you see panning out with obviously Norwich a disappointing performance at Spurs, wasn't it? Not there for the taking Spurs, but somewhere you could have really made a mark.
They played miles better. You can tell the lift they've had, just by looking at them. But unfortunately, they've not got the ability, I don't think, in them they might pick some points up, along the way. But on the grand scheme of things, when you look at it right at the end of this season, when you're going to have the last couple of games of the season, and Norwich going to be anywhere above that top three, and bottom three, and I just don't ever see it. I just don't see it. Dean Smith will do a great job, and doing a great job. If they finish third from bottom, that's a great job.
Well, it is considering where they've come from, definitely. So,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But have they got enough in that team? Unless they sign in January, unless they give him some money in January and say, right, and he's like, I need some players, and I think they would.
They haven't got some bad players there. I think it's just gelling them together, and they haven't had enough time to, find the fit. But in recent weeks, they've sort of shown that they can perform together. Obviously, that Tottenham one's a setback for them, but like I've mentioned a few times on this show, Conte's a natural born winner, and whether you played well or bad, he just wins a good percentage of his games. So, and Brandon Williams won't be playing from this week, will he? So,
no, Brandon this week.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he'll be stepping in at left back there. Obviously, back when there's latters in the Premier League, it was Jamal Lewis, who's now at Newcastle, wasn't it? So,
yeah, that's right, yeah. He's done all right.
I think there might be some Greek bloke that they've got at left back, I'm sure there is, yeah. If I think off the top of my head. But I've gone for Man U to win 2-0 here.
2-1. I've got Norwich to score.
I did have 2-1 at first and I changed it. And I was probably thinking, but I had too many Premier League teams to score, and I was thinking I'm going to have to take it off one. So, no doubt that you'll probably get it right now and Norwich will score because I've took it off.
Well, I'm hoping it's your score, to be honest. That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Clean sheets are always nice, aren't they? So,
yeah.
To give you a bit of confidence in your back line. So.
Yeah. Well, we had Matic and Bailly the other day. I tell you what, Bailly's an absolute beast.
Just needs to stay fit, doesn't he?
He should be playing ahead of Maguire every single week.
I'll say he's got the perfect mould to be a top defender, hasn't he? It's just consistency of fitness by the look of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. But he's had a decent run so far.
Yeah. Long may it continue. That's what you want to see, good players playing week in, week out, don't you? So.
Yeah, but he needs managing, though. He needs managing. You can't go, boom, especially this Christmas period, you can go, right, by here, I want you to play every game. Ain't happening. Far too many games in succession for Eric Bailly. He'd be so prone to an injury. He's
another one who, like I mentioned, Redmond, probably thinking this kid's got to be about 32 now. He's about 26 or 27 himself, isn't he? Probably younger than that.
Yeah. They're not very old.
Feels like he's been there forever because, like I say, he's played really well for you, but to others, and probably to me as well, he's probably been a bit like ignorant towards that because he's always in and out, thinking maybe he's not that great.
Yeah,
but he's been there forever.
He's just had a really bad injury record.
Yeah, really
bad, and I think ultimately, when he does play, United fans are like, "Yeah, we want Bailly." He's head and shoulders a better defender than the rest of them. Probably put together, apart from Wan-Bissaka defensively, but we need the fullbacks. I'll tell you what, the Dalot and Telles,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's the future. That under
a lot more threatening going forward. Definitely, you can't fault that. I think anyone can look more threatening going forward than Wan-Bissaka. But
yeah, absolutely.
But Dalot looks like he adds that extra element to Man United's attacking play. Then he even takes on the shots for himself.
Puts a good ball in him,
Yeah, I was gutted. I was gutted that we didn't sign him on loan a few seasons ago when we was linked. Obviously, he fitted the mould, didn't he? Portuguese and young. He could have been a permanent member of the Wolves squad now, but I suppose we got Semedo in there who's having a decent season. So
yeah, he's done well for you.
Yeah, but when Doherty was going, my first choice would have been to have Dalot to give him some games.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't think we'd sign Barcelona's first choice right back, to be honest with you at the time. Hey, times have
Well,
changed though.
it's mad.
Barcelona players wanting to come to Wolves.
Say it's the connection, isn't it?
Yeah. I say well, you look at Barcelona's financial struggles and their fall from grace now. Now going into Europa League, sort of gone the same way as
They got battered the other night, didn't they?
Yeah, they was never going to get anything out of that game. I think Bayern wanted them out. I mean, they said on the radio to get rid of competition, but I think Bayern would happily play them every week, to be honest with you. So
I do.
I think Bayern would probably be more nervous of Benfica than Barcelona at the moment.
All right, just wait before we carry on talking about that. So, what's your in-game betting tip for that?
I've gone for one of McFred to get booked. Like I mentioned, with Norgard being on 4 bookings, both of them are both on 4 bookings. I think definitely one of them might get one as well. You know, I think if Norwich played the likes of Rashica and Zolis, who like to carry the ball, you know, you'd probably think that the fullback would be the one being the 4 guy there, but you do see a lot of centre mids coming out wide to clatter their bloke as well. So, yeah, I've gone for one of McFred to get, so McTominay or Fred to get booked.
Right, no worries. Right, on to Sunday the 12th of December. We've got 3 games at 2 o'clock and a game at 4:30. Let's go with.
We did have 3 games at 2, but
yeah, sorry, we've got a postponed Brighton versus Tottenham. We'll start with that one.
Did you pick a prediction for that originally with what was going on? Or
yeah, I had 1-1.
I had 2-0 Brighton because obviously Spurs were going to play, though they've been with a depleted team. And yeah, I don't think I've known the Premier League team have so many games suspended or postponed. They've had Burnley go as well, didn't they, for the weather?
It used to be uproar when people tried. I remember did Ferguson do it? Tried like wanting games kind of postponed because of illnesses and whatever. We had like bugs and everything. I can't remember.
Yeah, always. Well, that was Tottenham as well years ago. I can't remember which way, whether it went against Tottenham. I think it did go against Tottenham for the when they was on the verge of getting in the Champions League for the first time, and they played West Ham and they all went down with food poisoning.
Oh, I remember that.
So that was Tottenham as well. So it just hasn't changed some, has it?
No.
But I suppose you look back at that one, they didn't get that one postponed, and yeah, if you could turn back the hands now, and if Brighton had this situation, I am intrigued to see whether they'd actually postpone the game.
Exactly.
In favour.
I know we want to play it.
Yeah. Spurs would definitely won that game if it was on the shoes. They've already had the buy for a game against Leighton Orient as well. So Tottenham just got this knack of getting games cancelled by the look of it. Yeah, well, obviously they would have beat Leighton Orient, I'd imagine, but
yeah.
But yeah, they've gone for 2-0 Brighton on that. I don't know who was actually out, but it sounded like it was their main players that have got the COVID. So,
okay, well, we'll go on to the second one then. So we've got Burnley and West Ham. Burnley,
I think West Ham have
Claret clash.
Yeah, I think West Ham have played the second string team today, so they qualified from their Europa League. So they should have a fairly fresh team for that. Mm-hmm. Burnley always tough to beat at home, which is the reason. I mean, did they lose to Newcastle last week? I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that was a poor result for them, but I think they'll have a bit of fight in them for the West Ham game. I've gone for 1-1 on this one. I just think that West Ham have sort of been a little bit up and down. I'm probably still going off their performance at Wolves. When you'd expected them to turn up with fearing the worst, and they didn't. But obviously a great result against Chelsea.
Yeah, got a great.
Bit of a fluke goal to go in, but it wasn't looking good for them at first. You know, they went down pretty early, didn't they? And pulled the way back in. They're a really good team, but I think Burnley will nick a point off them this week.
Well, I've gone for 1-0 to Burnley.
Have you? Ooh, interesting one. Any reason behind that? Just
I just think these are the kind of games that I fancy Burnley in. You know,
there's always one
slight upset, and you think Michail Antonio, he does go missing sometimes, right?
Yeah,
so
he did against us.
Exactly, he does go missing. So if you look at it, Tarkowski and whether me's back or whoever, I think they could really frustrate someone like Michail Antonio. And I just think the likes of Soucek and his aerial presence probably won't really affect Burnley at all.
It'd be harsh to drop, mind you, I didn't say their line-up in the last game against Newcastle, but, Nathan Collins was brilliant against us, a young kid.
Yeah.
If Tarkowski's going in January, then I think you need to get used to using Collins.
Yeah, he's looked all right, actually.
Yeah, he looks like he'll be a good, solid Premier League player, like along the lines of, he's an Irish lad himself, so, some people might laugh at it, but John O'Shea and Richard Dunn,
yeah,
some people might laugh at it from the outside in, but they were actually really good centre-halves,
Richard Dunn was a fantastic centre-half.
That was John O'Shea. John O'Shea for Man U was, he could step in anywhere, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Good utility player.
Had his moments.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. People laugh at it thinking, the poor defenders. What you're comparing him to them for? But there's always players that give the all for the team, and I see that the same in Collins.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Burnley stay as a Premier League team, I could see him there for a fair few years just to build up his Premier League experience. Know he's going to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because from next season onwards, I'd imagine you'll see him as a regular. Yeah, can't see Tarkowski seen past January if they're going to get money for him. So
Newcastle will be all over him.
Yeah, I think so. Whether he fancies that, because obviously there's that risk, but there's that risk with Burnley every year, isn't? There's that risk with Burnley every year, but I think when you're signing for a new team,
he'll get paid more in Newcastle than he ever will at Burnley.
Yeah, I think signing for obviously you get the money, but with him being at the age he is, about, I think he's hitting 30, if not already. Then if I go down, he's feeling he's in the pomp of his career. Is he going to ask for a transfer if there was to go down after 6 months? So
yeah, I
suppose. Wanting to play. He knows he's a Premier League proven defender. He's going to want to play at Premier League.
Because the thing is, you look at Newcastle, that'll take us on to. I'll carry on with that in a minute. So, but with this next game, what's your in-game tip for that one? Leeds, Burnley, West Ham.
I've gone for both teams score. It's a 1-1. I think both of them might nick a goal.
Okay, no problem. Right, what about then Leicester and Newcastle?
I remember some classics of these when I was growing up in the 90s. They're obviously completely different teams now.
Remember Emil Heskey scoring some blinders in the day?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was against. Yeah, I remember against Newcastle. I remember the likes of Steve Guppy having a
Steve Guppy. I forget about him.
Great winger.
Yeah.
But Newcastle had an exciting team there. And you know what? It's even though the different end of the table as to what they were then. Leicester were probably about a mid-table-ish team back in the day, weren't they? And then Newcastle were. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And Newcastle were challenging for the title around the time.
Mm-hmm.
But every game I see Leicester with now, it's happened again tonight in the Europa League. They're conceding goals for fun.
Yeah, really.
But the scoring as well. But Newcastle scoring most of their games and they can't defend. So I've gone for a really high scoring game in this one. I've gone for Leicester to win 4-3.
Really?
I think it's a bit of a shocker, like thinking, could Leicester really concede 3 to Newcastle? But the way they're going, they probably could. And they've give their all in the game against Napoli today. I think they fell short in there. I think they lost 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be coming back home against a Newcastle team that's fighting for life under a new system, I suppose, under Eddie Howe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be the game of the weekend. I do this one.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I don't think Leicester are a bit the absolute best, but I think with Newcastle's defence, if Leicester can go to the team that's challenging for the Serie A title at the moment and score a couple there with a depleted team as well. They've got some played there again, another team that's been hit by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be game of the weekend if the whole team don't go there with COVID.
There you go. You heard it here first. Game of the weekend prediction: Leicester versus Newcastle. I've gone with 2-1 to Leicester. So I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be exciting, but both teams take a hell of a lot of chances before they score.
Yeah.
So
I think it could be quite open. I think it could be an end-to-end game, this, because Aye's going to want them to attack. But even before Aye came along, they were scoring goals. Newcastle just couldn't defend.
Absolutely. I've always fancied them to score. Always.
Yeah. So I think it could be an exciting one, this.
And what's your tip?
Tip is over 3.5 goals. You get good odds on that. Really good odds.
Ideal. Right then, 4:30 and the final game of the weekend, 4:30 on Sunday, the 12th, is Crystal Palace at home to Everton.
Yeah, so it's sort of contrasted their form, hasn't it? So you had Everton in bad form and Palace have lost the last few, and then Everton have gone and won while Palace are now losing again. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how it actually comes together with this. My prediction for the result is that Everton will win again. I think they'll start easing that pressure a bit now. Take advantage of Palace losing the last couple of games and just nick it. I think they'll nick it late again. I think, for a lot of people probably seeing this as the main game on the Super Sunday is probably thinking, where's the fun factor in this? But I think it could be something as a big climax at the end. Maybe you'll see Demare Gray. What a goal he scored.
That was an absolute beauty, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, people are going on about on TalkSport the other day saying signing of the season, and he sort of got a mention, but people are saying Ronaldo. I mean, yeah, he's one of the best players in the world, and he scored some important goals for United this season. But for value for money, to get that bloke for $1.5 million,
that's definitely the best transfer this season. And Andros Townsend, to be honest.
Yeah,
they've done well with both of them.
Yeah, to get them on, to get two players for $1.5 million that have made a difference to the way you attack the game. Then
absolutely.
Yeah,
the problem is the way they've set out to play. They're all set up to get a ball in the box for Calvert-Lewin, and unfortunately, Rondon's not the same player.
Yeah, I mean, he's good in the air, isn't he? But he seems to be short on his own confidence, I think, at the moment. So, I mean, looks like Eze's back at Palace. This could be a good factor if they're getting back to his proper match fitness. I think they'll start picking their points up again eventually, Palace, but just not this weekend.
I'm going for 2-1 Palace.
Be an interesting one to see how this one pans out. Then it's very rare we have a complete opposite on
I know.
who's going to win. Who's going to win. So.
We're always right with this kind of on the same. The score might be wrong or different, should I say?
Yeah, we might have a win and a draw against each other, but it's rare we go for
opposite
on the other side. So that'd be an interesting one. It might be a bit of a challenge on Sunday. That one.
Yeah, 4:30 headline act. So,
I mean, to be fair, if you're looking at it this way, Palace should be favourites because they're quite a hostile atmosphere at Selhurst. Everton ain't been that great on the road, especially from what I saw when they come down to Wolves.
That's what I mean. That's what I fancy. I fancy, obviously, Vieira will kind of be, get on, pick yourselves up, go again. We were playing really well up to that point, and I just think this is the game for him. For me, this is the game again for Palace.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of mentioned it a few times this season. I've actually done quite well at predicting them, like where these teams are going to have a bit of a drop off, and Palace are sort of going through that at the moment again now. After, I mean, there was never in great forward there. They put a couple of results together, but they were drawing a lot at the start, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, loads.
But now they're starting to
They've
lose.
drawn 7 as well.
What was that, sorry?
I think they've drawn 7 as well.
Yeah, it don't surprise me after the start. But yeah, they've got to get out of that losing mentality now. This is probably Vieira's first challenge of getting out of a losing mentality, really. And Benitez, even though it's not the most attractive football, I think he knows when to grind a result out when it matters. Yeah. Saw it at Newcastle, at times we couldn't beat Newcastle. I think we might have nicked a result against them once, but there was always nicking a 1-1 against us. And but this is when we were, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say bogey team, but it's just a team you just couldn't put to bed. Because usually we've got loads of bogey teams who just absolutely hammers us all the time. I've never known a team have so many bogey teams, to be honest with you. You look at, if there is a website called H2H for football, and you look at most of them, and our history against many a team. I mean, even against some of the worst teams in League Two, they've got a better record against us than we have against them. So yeah, I've gone for Everton to nick it there. I think with Richarlison, I mean, he put the ball in the back of the net 3 times in the week. So
I know, yeah.
If he's anything to do, I think no, it's not my tip, but keep an eye on him to score. He'll definitely be a decent odds if you put a 5 or a 10 on it. Especially
what is your tip then this week?
Over 45 booking points.
45 booking points.
Again, if no one knows, it's 10 points for a booking, then 25 points for if there's a red card in the game. If it's a second yellow, you have 35 points for that one player, so to add to the whole game. I think it could be a quite feisty game. I think I haven't seen the referees to this game, but
I think it could be a feisty one too.
Yeah, you got a few players. I mean, Everton have definitely got a few players who constantly pick up cards like Luca Dean and Holgate. Alan, yeah, he's actually been quite good this year with it, but you probably just put a tip on yourself there because usually the ones that go quite for it just come out of nowhere and just start hacking people then for the fun of it again. So now, even like players like Checo Peyote as well. Yeah, he hasn't been booked about once this season. He's a defensive midfielder.
Oh yeah.
Conor Gallagher loves to pick up a card.
Yeah.
Mark Gay gets a couple.
Tell you what, like him, me, that Conor Gallagher. He could be a standout in this game for me.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with his future, whether he sees it at Chelsea. I think he could play at that level. Will he be a bit of a Loftus Cheek where we've seen him stand out for a loan club, but then go back to Chelsea and probably be putting for a couple of games and then back on the bench again?
Yeah, exactly.
For me,
they'll just make a decision to leave and go and play football.
For me, his future's away from Stamford Bridge. He can come to the Molyneux if he wants.
Come United.
Yeah. Well, if you can play him at Tominay and Fred in there, then I'm sure.
I like Van der Beek, me. Honestly, Van der Beek. I know he was kind of given a hospital pass from Wan-Bissaka, and then he was kind of lost the ball and give the ball away for obviously their goal. But apart from that, he had a fantastic game, Donny Van der Beek.
Needs that run of games, doesn't he? Now I think he's got someone who's shown a little bit of confidence in him, and then see where he can go. Hopefully, he can hit the ground running. There, he seems to have held his attitude correctly, so hopefully he gets a good run there. Yeah,
definitely. Right then, that concludes all the weekend's fixtures, and we've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday football this week. So. Hope you go okay with our score predictions and Lee's in-game betting tips. As we've said before, don't put them all on. Handpick them, see what you fancy, and I don't know, put a 5 or a 10 on. You might earn some good money. And what do you say, Lee?
Well, yeah, earn some good money. They can buy the hoodies, can't they?
Yeah, there you go. and 20% off. The link in the description. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back again. We've got more football again next week, so we'll be back with another show, and I'll see you soon. Good to see you, Lee.
And you, mate. Take care.
Take care, buddy.
See you
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.